Right, big news coming in. This is the fourth round of talks today between the government representatives and the farmer leaders and the unions. This is going to be a big one. Remember, in Chandigarh, where likely this meeting will take place again, but Haryana government has extended the suspension of mobile internet services in 7 districts till the 19th of February. So another 24 hours. In those 7 districts in Haryana, mobile internet services will remain suspended while there is a fourth round of talks also to be in Chandigarh. And this, remember, will be asking for if there is any consensus on the same. 4 round of talks. So this is while the government is saying we'll agree to most demands, look at it, form a committee. Farmers say assurance not enough, want a law on the minimum support price on all the crops. And the big issue remains. If the talks are inconclusive again, the farmers state they have been mobilizing further from other states as well to join in. Joining me now live is my colleague Kamaljeet Sandhu, who's tracking all the latest on that. Kamaljeet, you are in Chandigarh, where constantly the talks have failed, but the talks also continue. Fourth round. How significant should we say this Sunday will be?
You know, the farmers are already at Shambu border and Kanori border. Now, what is important and significant is whether there's going to be any sort of a breakthrough. Now, there has not been much out-of-the-box thinking. Remember, the government has tried to give some concessions. They said that as far as the Lakhimpur Kheri victims are concerned, there would be money deposited within a week span. Now, there have already been half a week which is gone. They've also said that they're willing to do crop insurance. They're willing to do several other things. But the main demand is obviously the MSP and bringing a legislation on it. Now, this is the fag end of the Modi government. And remember, going into poll mode. And just before that, this kind of a demand, many said that they're willing to have a committee where both the government officers as well as the farmers would be there. But meanwhile, the farmers have been very adamant because they're saying that, we gave you 7-8 months time. And the government, on the other hand, is saying that we're already giving MSP on 22, mostly on wheat and paddy to Punjab and Haryana farmers. But they want MSP on all crops. Now, there is obviously a talk of a middle path, which the farmers are not agreeing to. Meanwhile, in a marathon meeting, which happened just 2 days ago, that is where they have actually agreed to disagree in a certain sense, but also to come back on the table and have a word. Remember, the internet shutdown has already been declared in 7 of the districts in Haryana. There seems to be a situation which is tense. Meanwhile, the farmers have been requested by the leaders not to really venture near the barricades. So meanwhile, there seems to be a truce between both the farmers as well as the paramilitary forces by the time the talks go through. But tonight is going to be a deciding factor. Whether these farmers are going to stay put at Shambu border, whether they retreat, whether they go ahead, it all depends on how successful the talks are. Meanwhile, it does seem, because of the violence which has been caused, and mostly by what is the farmers been alleging as excessive force, several of the other farmer unions have joined in solidarity. But remember, the march basically is also Kisan Mazdoor Morcha as well as the SKM non-political. But meanwhile, if this doesn't go down really well, then they do threaten to bring in more farmer unions.
Farmers are wanting to mobilize further, garner more support. Government would not want that, specifically not a repeat of 2021 protest where they squatted literally at the border for more than a year. Kamaljeet will be tracking the latest on that about who really will be the winning side in this. Remember, of course, the local public facing inconvenience remains the loser because they are the ones facing problems on the ground. Bharatiya Kisan Union leader Rakesh Tiketh has announced that farmers will stage a 4-state dharna. This will be on 21st of February. Farmers will stage this protest in Uttar Pradesh, Haryana, Punjab, Uttarakhand to press for their demand. And one of the main demands remain legal guarantee of the minimum support price on all the crops. The Haryana government extended meanwhile a ban on mobile internet and bulk SMS services in 7 districts till tomorrow. All eyes will be on today's round of talks and what it will yield. Farmer leaders will sit down today also to resolve tension between the farmers and the government. Remember, sources are telling to India Today, here's what's been happening. Government will form a special committee to understand farmers and their demand. The farmers will likely recommend panel members for this committee too, but the farmers have maintained that they'll not be convinced only with the committee or the assurances. These are pending assurances. They want it to be fulfilled now.
कितने राउंड की बातचीत हुई आपकी? बातचीत में क्या लग रहा है? सरकार का रुख किस तरफ है?
देखिए, हम तो आशा कर रहे हैं सरकार पॉजिटिव हो, हम पॉजिटिव हैं। कल की मीटिंग में कोई अच्छा निर्णय हो।
कल आपके साथ मीटिंग है, किस माइंडसेट से आप और बाकी किसान लीडर
हम
जाएंगे?
तो माइंडसेट है भी जाएं और कुछ लेके आ जाएं। हम तो इस माइंडसेट से जाएंगे।
मतलब आपको उम्मीद है कि जो आपकी मांगे हैं,
ये तो आज नहीं कह सकते, ठीक है, वो तो कल ही पता चलेगा। हम तो पॉजिटिव माइंड से जाएंगे कि कुछ सरकार इस मसले का हल करे।
जो पॉलिसियां हमारी देश की सरकार ने बनाई वो किसान के पक्ष में नहीं थी, और जो स्टडीज आ रही हैं कि हमें जो एमएसपी नहीं दी गई, लगभग 16-17 तक 45 लाख करोड़ रुपए का घाटा देश के किसान को पड़ा है। और पूरा देश अभी ताकतवर प्रधानमंत्री जी की ओर देख रहा है कि वो हौसला करें और निर्णय लें C2 प्लस 50% से, और ऑर्डिनेंस करके खरीदी गारंटी कानून और देश के सर से किसानों का कर्ज, मजदूरों का कर्ज खत्म किया जाए।
21 फरवरी को जिला कलेक्ट्रेट पे एक दिन का प्रदर्शन होगा। ट्रैक्टर से, गाड़ी से लोग जाएंगे, एक दिन वहां पे अपने ज्ञापन सौंपेंगे। जो एमएसपी, जो हमारे किसानों के मामले हैं, मसले हैं, और जो पंजाब के किसानों के साथ में हरियाणा सरकार ने करा उसके विरोध में ट्रैक्टर को एक साइड में हाईवे पे खड़े करके रखें कि ये ट्रैक्टर दिल्ली जा सकते हैं। हमारी दिल्ली, हमारा हाईवे, हमारी दिल्ली, हमारा गांव, दिल्ली हमारे दिलों में है। जहां चाहेंगे वहीं दिल्ली है।
किसान की जो व्यथा है उससे सारा देश उनके साथ सहानुभूति रखता है, और उस सारे देश के अंदर सुनील जाखड़ भी शामिल है। एक राजनीतिक दल बीजेपी के प्रधान होने के नाते नहीं, परंतु खुद एक किसान होने के नाते भी, और एक पंजाबी होने के नाते, एक भारतीय होने के नाते किसान की व्यथा के प्रति सबके दिल में दर्द है।
The big story coming in now is